Okay, so hopefully you guys are joining the classes regularly and reading the verses, trying to learn the shlokas. Okay, so we'll start our class today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so anybody remembers which verse we were discussing last time? Kiona? You need to unmute. Okay, can you speak now?
Yes, I can speak now.
Okay, actually, she is not able to unmute herself whenever it is needed. So, is it some other?
Yeah, I unmuted her now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't allowing me to do that.
I forgot like the verse, but I remember that we practiced 2 verses.
Yeah, we practiced 2 verses. So you don't remember which one? Okay, Gopal Govind.
The verse name is the text 20 and text 22.
Yes, text number 20 from chapter 2 and text number 22 from chapter 2. So these were the 2 verses mainly we were focusing on. Anybody remember? Can somebody recite the verse? Have you memorized the verse? Mihika?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I think the 20th verse is Natvam Charati Phaleshu Padachana Ma Karma Phalahetu Ma Te Sangostu Karmani.
No, the text 20. Text 20 or text 22 from chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. This is the soul, right? The topic of soul we are discussing. Na jayate mriyate va.
Na jayate mriyate varakate bhavita vanabhya nashta shakna purana na harnate harnamene sharire.
Okay, good. So na jayate mriyate va kadachin ayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So this is text 20, which says, for the soul there is neither the birth nor death. At any point the soul does not come into existence. Soul is unborn, soul is eternal, soul is ever existing, and soul is the oldest. Soul is not slain when the body is slain. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Okay, so that is text number 20. And text 22, anybody remembers that verse? Nobody? Okay, that's surprising.
Prabhuji, can I say it?
Yes.
Vamsam sichranani yataviha गृह्णन्ति नरोपराणि तथाश्रणानि विहेचनानि अन्यानि संयाति नवनीतैः. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, very good. So text 22, this is one of the very famous verse on the topic of soul, which says that as we give up the old and useless clothes, same way the soul gives up the old useless body and accepts a new one. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha shrirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So these two verses, everybody should try to memorize these two verses. Okay, text 20 from chapter 2 and text 22 from chapter 2. So today we'll move on to next verse to discuss the nature of soul, continue with that topic. So in the next verse, what does Krishna says? Nanam chindanti shastrani, nanam dahati pavaka, nanam kaledyanti na shoshyati maruta. The soul cannot be cut into pieces. Nanam chindanti shastrani. No weapon can pierce through the soul. Nanam dahati pavaka. Pavaka means fire. The soul cannot be burnt by fire. Na kale dhyanti apo. Apo means water. So the soul cannot be moistened by the water. It cannot be drowned by the water. Na shoshyati marutaha. Maruta means air. And it cannot be dried up by the wind. So for the body, all these things happen, right? Body can be cut into pieces. So there may be weapon which can, like the sword or sharp object, axe. It can cut the soul. It can cut the arm, cut the leg. It can cut somebody's head. So the body, the different limbs of the body, they can be cut by any weapon, but it cannot cut the soul. And then same way, fire, right? Sometimes there is a big forest fire, or somebody may have somebody's house may be put on fire, and people may die in that fire. If somebody is caught up in the house fire or forest fire, their body is burnt, right? For example, let's say there an accident happened in the house that somebody forgot to turn off the stove. There was no flame, but the gas was leaking, and somebody came and turned on the electric plug, right? Electric switch, which caused a burst into the house. Kind of a fire erupted in the house, and the person, whole body got burnt into that fire. So the body may be burnt by fire, but the real person inside the body, the soul is not burnt. Nothing happened to the soul. And then water. If there is a tsunami or somebody may drown in the ocean, right? Somebody went into the ocean to take a kind of swim in the ocean, and they were swept by the waves of the ocean. So somebody may drown in the water, but the soul is unharmed. Nothing happened to the soul. And then wind. Sometimes there is a big wind. Some hurricane may come, tornado may come. So there may be a heavy wind blowing which can sweep the whole city, whole village. So the bodies may be withered here and there. Big buildings are blown up, right? We have seen when there is a hurricane or sometime even the huge buildings, very strong buildings, they are also swept away. But the nature of soul is such that the soul is not harmed by any of these things. Soul cannot be cut into pieces by weapon, cannot be burnt by fire, cannot be moistened by the water, and cannot be withered by the wind. So that is the nature of soul. Now the topic for today, discussion point, right? So Krishna has been speaking at many places to Arjuna, encouraging him to fight. That because nobody can kill the soul, so you get up and fight. You do your duty. So there are specific verses I will point out to you. Text number 19, okay, chapter 2, text number 19, and then chapter 2, text number 21, and chapter 2, text number 27, where Krishna is specifically mentioning this thing, that why are you lamenting for discharging of your duty? Because the soul is never killed. So in text number 19, Krishna says, neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he thinks it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor is slain. So if somebody is thinking the soul is destroyed, that person is also in knowledge, is not in knowledge. And if somebody thinks that I am killing somebody, that person is also not in knowledge, because the soul cannot be killed, or nobody can kill the soul. So it's basically indirectly Krishna is telling Arjuna that you are thinking I will kill my relatives, kill my friends, all my cousins and all. So why are you worried? Actually, soul is never destroyed. This is only the body which is destroyed. Right? So in one sense, Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to fight, to commit violence. And then text number 21. In that also, Krishna tells Arjuna that, O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, how can that person kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? So neither that person kills somebody, or neither he can cause somebody else to kill somebody else. So here also indirectly Krishna is telling Arjuna that you should fight without worrying about killing anybody. And then text number 27. Okay, text 27 also, where Krishna says, now this is also a very important verse. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur dhruvam janma mrityuschasa tasmad apriharya rathe natvam shochitum arhasi. So what is Krishna telling Arjuna? Jatasya hi dhruvor mrityu. When somebody takes birth, along with the birth itself, the death is also born. So basically Krishna is telling, whoever has taken birth, he is sure to die at some point of time. Therefore, tasmad pariharya arthe, in your unavoidable discharge of duty, na shochitum arhasi. Shochitum, shoch means to lament. So you should not lament. Just do your duty. Don't lament that I will kill somebody, because whoever has taken birth is sure to die. Now, discussion point. Thinking about soul's nature, that soul is indestructible, soul cannot be killed. Can we kill anybody? Can we harm somebody and say, oh, I am not killing the soul? See, the soul is never destructible. Soul cannot be killed. So why are you blaming me that I killed that person? That was just the body. It was just the dress for the soul. So can somebody justify like that? Does it give the license for whimsically killing somebody? So who will like to participate in the discussion? And we can speak from kids' point of view, right? It doesn't have to be deep philosophy. we can just take some very simple examples which apply to kids also. Yes, Mihika.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think it would be yes.
It will be yes for what? Can you repeat the statement also?
So I think that if you would say, if you would have killed someone, and then the other person who was actually the witness told that you killed that person who actually killed, and then you say that I didn't kill anyone, that was just the death of the soul, then if it kind of depends if they even trust you or no.
Okay, so I will give you another scenario now. Let's say, so you understand, you kind of have this philosophy where you know that the body, right? This body is not the real thing. This is just the covering. It's just the dress. And the soul is never destroyed. So can I say, I will take a gun in my hand, go outside and shoot anybody and then claim, oh, I did not kill him. That was just the dress. Why are you trying to punish me? So can somebody utilize the philosophy like that? Right? Otherwise, anybody who has killed somebody and caught by the police, caught by the cops, they are brought into the court in front of the judge, and judge gives them the decision, put this person in jail for 14 years for killing that person. And this person who committed that crime, he will say, oh judge, you don't know the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. You should read Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, it is told that we are not the body, we are the soul, and the soul is never destroyed. So I never killed the soul. It was just the dress. So why are you trying to punish me?
Then the judge won't understand, and he would still go up on his.
Okay, but if the judge understood, is it still okay? Does it justify?
No.
No. Okay, so why not? So then the next question comes basically, in what situations violence is justified? Right? So Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight, to commit violence. So in what situation violence is justified, and in what situation violence is condemned? When can we say, yes, it was all right to kill that person or punish that person like that? Okay, Swastika.
Well, even though the person only like destroyed the body, even Krishna says that everyone is his children, even animals. Then it's still not okay to kill a person's dress or even the soul. It's not okay to do any of that.
Right, very good.
Except if Krishna tells you to do it.
Yes, okay. Good point, Swastika. Anybody else? Akshara?
One incident can be when someone's life is in danger, or when they're being in a big trouble, like going to a severe position when they didn't do something.
Okay. Kiona?
What does that lament mean?
Lament means to feel bad. Oh, why did I do that? Right? That is called lamentation.
Okay.
So do you want to comment something in this session which we are having? Is it okay to destroy, to kill somebody thinking I am not killing the soul? Or then okay, it's not okay. So in what situation violence is justified?
Like, I don't really know what Violence and justified means so well.
Okay, so violence. Violence means to put somebody in danger, or let's say you go and slap somebody, right? That is also called violence. To harm somebody physically or even mentally, verbally, that is called violence.
And what does justifying mean?
Justify means to say, oh, it was okay. Whatever I did was okay. So that is called justification. To justify our actions, that I did for this reason and it was okay to do that. So in what situation can I say harming somebody is okay?
Harming somebody is not okay.
Yes, it is not okay. But are there some situations?
Even if it's the dress or the body of someone, it isn't okay.
Right, it's not okay to harm somebody. But is there some situation where harming somebody is considered okay? Okay, let's take another person.
No.
Ishi
I
Radha.
think self-defense. Save yourself. I think it's okay in some situation. Save yourself.
Okay, one person at a time. So Ishi, what is your comment?
To save yourself.
To save yourself. In that situation, it is okay to harm somebody. Okay, I will take that point. If somebody is trying to harm you, right, and you try to protect yourself, and then in that situation, you may end up harming the other person who was trying to harm you in first place. Because the Shastras say, if somebody is trying to kill you, somebody gives poison to you, somebody put your house on fire. So in all those situations, one can counter attack on that person. So in that situation, yes, in your own self-defense, if you end up harming that person, it is justified. Yes. Any other situation?
I don't have a situation, but I'm just saying that if a person harms you, then that doesn't mean you harm that same person who hurted you.
It depends on the situation. So, okay, now let's come back to this point. There is one person more, if want to add. It just says S on the name. I don't know what is the full name. Do you want to speak something?
Yeah. So it's okay
wait,
to harm somebody if
wait.
to keep yourself self-defense, or if you did something really wrong and they're still hunting down other people. So it's okay to kill them because they'll kill more people. Because you don't want, like, if one person dies, which is better, one person dying or two people dying?
Okay, good point. I like that point you're bringing up. So the situation is, now let's summarize, right? Couple of points here who all have discussed. So one point which you are saying is, if let's say there are some robbers, right? Robbers are going to do some robbery or to kill some people in a village, and the police come to know about their plan. And the police attacks on those robbers on the way, and they, in that attack, they kill those robbers, right? So the cop,
because those,
right,
yeah,
so
yeah, right, because those robbers are going to go kill more people who didn't do anything wrong to them. Then that's not okay to kill somebody. Then it's okay to kill that person who did the wrong thing.
Yes, good. That's what I'm coming to. So the robbers were going to kill some innocent people, and they could kill many people, but the cops, they did their duty to punish those bad people, right? So I'm using simple words for you guys, so you understand what I'm saying, not too heavy words. So the police, the cops, they killed those bad guys who were going to kill some innocent people otherwise. So in that case, it was completely justified. Even though it is a violence, right? Police also did violence, but that violence is justified because violence is justified what is done to bring about the peace, the justice. So if any violence is done to bring peace, justice in the society, that violence is accepted. And that's why Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight, because Krishna is telling Arjuna to punish all these bad people, the miscreants, who otherwise will cause so much disturbance in the society. So that's why this war on the side of Arjuna is justified, because it is done to punish some wrong people, bad people, miscreant people. Same way, another example, let's say if a person who murdered somebody, who killed somebody, now that person is caught by the police, by the cops, and they bring him in front of the judge, and judge gives the punishment that put this person in jail for lifetime or hang this person to death, right? There is this kind of punishment also. Now that punishment is generally not there, but earlier it used to be that the judge will give the sentence that hang this person till death. Isko फांसी दे दो. So actually that is also accepted, even though one may say, oh, judge is doing violence by killing this person. But
Prabhuji,
actually,
yeah,
wait, let me finish.
like,
Swastika, wait for a minute. Let me finish my point. So the judge may give him the life sentence or hang till death, but that is also justified because as per the scriptures, it is said for that person to relieve from his karmic reaction, that type of punishment is to be given. Otherwise, he has to face even more severe punishment in his next lives. He has to undergo many sufferings. So it was recommended to give this kind of punishment to relieve him from his karmic reaction. Okay, now Swastika, you can speak.
So I was saying that sometimes the British would hang some freedom fighters, like I like, because they didn't like the freedom fighters.
Yeah, so,
like from India, they used to do
right,
that.
right, but that is wrong, right? Because somebody is fighting on the side of adharma and somebody is fighting on side of dharma. So whoever is fighting on the side of dharma, for them committing violence is justified, not otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same example. Somebody is killing the innocent people and police is killing those terrorists. So police killing those terrorists is justified, but the terrorist killing the innocent people or even the cops is not justified.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other example where the violence is justified? That, see, generally violence is not to be done. So Swastika's very initial point, even though we may think this body is just a dress, so we should not be harming somebody by saying, oh, I'm just harming the dress, not the soul. So we are not supposed to harm somebody's dress also. You cannot go outside when you're playing with your friends and you hold on to his shirt and tear up his shirt. Can you do that? That's not nice, right? You cannot tear up somebody's clothes also. So same way, we cannot just harm this body also. Because ahimsa paramo dharma, the topmost dharma is actually non-violence. We should not be causing violence to anybody for our personal benefit, our personal satisfaction. Harming even the animals or some other human beings or any other living creature. So we should not harm anybody without any justified reason. So what is the other example, another scenario where doing some, imposing some pain to the body is justified?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, if it's not justified, like if the police cannot catch the robbers, like the robbers ran away or they're hiding, then if they can't catch them, then how do they justify?
So if, see, somebody may escape the rules, the laws of a state, of a country, but they cannot escape the laws of God. So even if somebody committed crime, somebody murdered few people and they were not caught by the cops and they were not punished, but they cannot escape the law of God. They have to suffer either in the same life or in the next lives. So somebody killed somebody, in next life he will be killed the same way brutally. So that is how the law of karma works. One cannot think, see, I killed 100 people and still I was not caught by the cops. It doesn't work like that, because he will be killed that many times. How many times he killed somebody else? Even though somebody, let's say, killed 100 people and the law may punish him only one time, right? Okay, somebody killed one person, he is also given same imprisonment of lifetime. Somebody killed 100 people also, even if he is also given same imprisonment for 100 years or lifetime in the jail. One should not think, see, I was intelligent, I made fool of others, I was also given only that much imprisonment. But he has to suffer the reactions of his karma that many times. He will be killed that many times. He will be put into the same situation by the law of karma.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Anybody else has a question or comment? Okay, go ahead if you have any question.
I just wanted to say, like if like you said that no one can escape the, like, if Krishna controls them, then they can't escape the punishment of Krishna. They can, the only way they could escape it is if Radharani says, no, don't do it, please, because this person did something nice to me, so please just leave this person alone. Like,
No.
if one of his devotees said that to Lord Krishna, then only could that person be left alone.
Yeah, still somebody has to go through their consequences.
Yeah, but not that many times. It would,
Yeah.
they would still get
If
punished,
somebody,
but not a lot, though.
okay, that is a deeper subject matter, a different topic. Just in brief, if somebody surrenders unto Krishna and somebody repents that I did this mistake and he finally surrenders unto Krishna, so Krishna can forgive that person. Krishna can minimize their suffering based on their level of surrender. Okay. Okay, does anybody want to mention any other scenario where putting pain, giving pain to somebody's body is justified?
Well, I don't really have that one, but I have something like if about this scenario like that might happen in like another country or so. So in some countries they like let prisoners escape because like they think it's their right to do. So like if a prisoner escapes from jail, then like do they still like get a punishment for escaping the jail?
Yes.
And do the cops also get any punishment for letting them escape even though it's
Right, so it works both ways. The prisoner who is trying to escape without fulfilling his imprisonment, so he is further building up more karma, right? So he has to face the consequences. He may escape the jail in this world, he may skip his imprisonment, his punishment, but he has to face that punishment in the terms of the law of karma. And the jailer or the cops, if somebody intentionally helps somebody to escape, they will also face the consequences because they did not do their duty properly. And they have to face the bad karma for not doing their duty. So both have to face consequences.
Okay.
Okay.
And like, what
Yes.
if like the prisoners escape and the cops do nothing because of the law and all?
Yeah, so still, as I said, one may escape the law of this world, law of the city, law of the state, law of the country, but they cannot escape the law of karma. They cannot escape the law of God. They have to face their consequences, suffer for their bad works.
And then my other question is like, if a person like gets a punishment here, will it like reduce their punishment in the world of God?
Yes, so if let's say somebody murdered somebody and they got the imprisonment for that, so it reduces their karmic reaction because they have already received punishment, which is also indirectly arranged by Krishna through the cops, through the judge.
Okay, that's all my questions.
Okay, so another scenario before we take more question, another scenario which I want to mention where the violence is justified or where it is justified to give some pain to the body is in the example of a doctor. Okay, so doctor is treating a patient and during the operation they may have to cut some part of the body, right? Open up the body. So they have to cut the chest or cut some different limb of the body. In that way, it may be seen that, oh, he is causing pain to that person, pain to the body. But he is causing the temporary pain to relieve him from his disease. So in that situation also, that violence is coming justified. The violence is accepted. The violence, the pain given to the body to relieve him from a bigger disease. But if somebody whimsically goes and cuts somebody's hand, cuts somebody's leg, that is not justified. So the doctor also uses the knife, and the murderer also may use the knife. But the murderer using the knife to kill somebody is not justified. But the doctor using the knife to cut the body, to take out some tumor, to take out some a bad part of the body, right? There's some lumps. So that is justified because it depends on the intention. One act is done to cause harm to somebody. Another act is done to relieve him from his suffering. Okay, so we should understand clearly. We should not take the philosophy in wrong way, in wrong sense, misutilizing the philosophy. That, oh, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said this, so it's okay for me to commit crime, commit violence. What is the wrong? Because we are not the body, we are the soul. So if somebody has a little bit understanding of Bhagavad Gita, has read Bhagavad Gita a little bit, they cannot justify wrong arguments. Okay, let's see if somebody has any question.
Okay, I have one last question. So if there's a murderer, killing people with a knife, then there is someone else who's innocent, but they get caught and they didn't do anything wrong. Then why did God do that to them?
Okay, so good question. So somebody committed the crime, but any innocent person was caught, right? He was blamed for that. That, oh, maybe this person did. So somebody misjudged that maybe this person did and that innocent person is caught, and maybe the judge gave him punishment also. So in that case, the innocent person may have done something in their previous life or some previous time because of which they had to go through this suffering. But
What if they didn't do that?
right, let me explain. Okay, I will give example also. But the person who is blaming this innocent person with the charge and putting the punishment on that, they also have to suffer for their wrong judgment, because they caused the suffering to that innocent person. They have to also go through suffering. Now, why this happened to this innocent person? So maybe he did not do that particular crime, but he may have done something wrong because of which he was due to go through some suffering, some misery in the life. So I will give you one example. There was one sage called Mondik Rishi. Okay, he was a very powerful sage. And once some thieves, they did some robbery in the palace of the king. And they took all the stuff, they went into the forest, and they hid inside the ashram of this Rishi, Mondik Rishi. And Mondik Rishi was sitting in meditation. He was closing his eyes and meditating. He did not know what happened, that some thieves came and hid behind in his ashram, in his hut. And then the soldiers of the king, they were also chasing those robbers, those thieves. And they also came to the forest on this ashram, and they saw this Mondik Rishi sitting there. He did not respond to the soldiers when they were inquiring, when they were asking, because he was absorbed in his meditation. The soldiers went around and they searched his ashram, his kutia, his hut, and they found those thieves hiding there with all the objects which they have stolen. Now they caught all those thieves and they judged Mondik Rishi also, that he is also maybe their companion. He is also part of these thieves only. And now he's just pretending to be sitting like that and pretending to be meditating, to ignore or to hide. So they caught Mondik Rishi also. So Mondik Rishi was innocent, right? Mandavak. So his name is sometimes used as Mondik Rishi, sometimes Mandavak Rishi. So Mandavak Rishi, he was innocent in this particular episode, but the soldiers caught him also, and they brought everybody in front of the king. And king, without knowing all the details, king gave the same punishment to everybody. And that time, the punishment was, now we say hang till death. That time it was to put them on shul. The shul is like a rod, which is a sharp end at the top. And they make the person sit on top of that sharp rod. And by the weight, by the gravity, they will going inside that rod. The rod is piercing through their body. So that was the punishment in the olden times. It's called shul, put them on shul. So the king gave the punishment that put everybody on shul. So all the actual thieves, they were given same prison punishment. And this Mandavak Rishi was also given same punishment. And he was put onto this shul, but because of his purity, his austerity, nothing was happening to him. This shul was not piercing through his body. And after some time passed by, nothing happened to him. The king came to know about that. And he realized, oh, this may be a real sadhu, and I may have made a mistake by giving him this punishment. So he came to the sadhu and begged forgiveness from him, that please forgive me. I did not know that you are not part of these thieves. I mistook you as the thief. And Mandavak Rishi said, that's okay. You just did your duty. You did not know. But I want to find out, why did this happen to me? Why I had to go through this blame and this minor suffering of getting that feeling of some sharp object piercing my body. So he went to Yamaraj and asked him, why did this happen to me? And Yamaraj said, actually, in your earlier life, when you were a small child, when you were a young boy, you were playing, and while in your playing, you took a sharp needle-like object and you pierced into an innocent bug, insect. And because you gave that suffering of this piercing to that insect, you also had to go through that suffering in your life as a reaction to your karma. And that's why this whole thing was arranged, for you to experience that reaction. So what do you understand from this story? Even though sometimes somebody is innocent in that particular crime, he did not do that exact crime, but they are given some punishment. They have to go through some suffering. This happens because of some old bad karma we may have done, that person may have done, because of which they had to experience this suffering. So nothing in this world happens by mistake. There is always a reason. Why did something happen to us? Some bad thing or some good thing. But when something good happens to us, then we don't question, why did this good happen to me? Why did I got this reward? Why I am blessed with this particular talent? Right? That time we think, oh, I deserve this. Whatever good happened to me, I deserve this. But when something bad happens, then people question, why did this bad happen to me? What did I do wrong? I was such a good guy. I never did anything wrong. Why did this happen to me? But there is always a reason behind why something good happened or why something bad happened. And what is Krishna telling in Bhagavad Gita? One should try to tolerate all these different situations in life. Sometimes happiness comes, sometimes stress comes, distress comes. Sometimes it's happiness, sometimes it's sorrow. So one should try to tolerate. Titikshava. By just thinking, this is all reaction of my past karma. And don't do whining, don't do retaliation, and just accept it. So the Bhagavad Gita philosophy is so good, it applies to everybody. It applies to an old man, it applies to a young man, it applies to children also. And we can understand this philosophy at our level. So at the level of children also, we can understand the basic principle in simple way, how we can utilize this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and continue to make progress in our life. Okay, so thank you very much. Let's see if somebody has any questions for today. Anybody has any questions? I see a few raised hands.
I have a question.
Okay.
My question is like, what is a terrorist?
A terrorist is somebody who causes violence to other people, to kill other people for no reason. So terror is risk, right? So who causes terror among others? That is called a terrorist.
I don't get it.
So a terrorist is, let's say somebody comes to your home, to your city.
Someone who did crime?
Yes, somebody who did crime.
And I even have another type of situation for bringing pain to a body.
Okay, what is that?
Like, let's say, like, you know, some apartments, they have roofs where you can go on top. And if someone goes up on the top and looks and just looks at the sky or at the view of the village, and someone sneaks up and pushes that person off, so
Yeah.
that also brings pain, and that person should like dies when it falls all the way to the ground.
Yeah, so that is committing crime because somebody pushes somebody from the top of a building to cause him fall down. So that is hurting the body, right? That is crime. So
Yes,
that is violence.
and then the police catches the person, and then the person should be hanged or going to jail, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, anybody has any question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is that, for example, if someone would have killed 100 people, what's the process that they get punished 100 times?
So in the law of the state, right, they will get only one time punishment. They can put that person in jail for lifetime or hang him till death, that kind of punishment. So that person, even though in the law of state is punished only once, but as per the law of karma, he has to be punished that many number of times. So he may take his next birth and will be killed like that. Again, he will take birth and he has to go through again some misery, some suffering. So he has to suffer that many number of times. He cannot escape the law of karma.
Hare Krishna, I got that. Prabhuji, one question is, when Mandak Rishi went to Yamaraj, how did he go, with the body or he went with the soul?
So he went with his body because Yamaraj's place is within this material world. And the great sadhus, the great rishis, they have the powers to travel different planets also. They have the siddhis. So there are 8 type of siddhi. One type of siddhi is where they can travel to different planetary system. So one can go to the higher planets also. So based on their mystic powers, mystic yogic powers, they can travel like that.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So when
Your voice is not your voice is breaking up and
When Mandak Rishi poked like the bug, like how old was he when he did that?
so the exact age I don't know, but he was a young boy, maybe 7, 8 years old.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Any other question? Swastika, you have a question?
No.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for joining Bhagavad Gita class today. So please continue to read
Thank you,
and
Prabhuji.
memorize the verses.